So it's January and that makes it product launch time. We've got loads of stuff coming out this month. Today we've got the Ping Blueprint S irons. So as I say, January means new products. Shiny new golf clubs are coming to the market. So this is the Ping Blueprint S iron. This is set to replace the existing Blueprint iron and the Ping I-59, which is the club that was made for Victor Hovland. So this is the Better Players Club. This is the one that you're going to see a few players using on tour and pitched at the Better Player. It's not the most used club on tour. The most used one that they've got is the I-230, which is slightly more forgiving. So this is not as forgiving. So they do there's two versions of this. You've got the S and the T. The T is much more of a bladed looking club, the S being slightly more cavity back. Now they can be blended across the set, so you can go for a mixture of T and S or exclusively S, or you can mix these off with the I-230 as well, so that you could have all three sets of clubs in the bag if you wanted to do a complete combo set. The lofts are interchangeable with those clubs. So as a Better Players Club, you're going to see weaker lofts on these clubs. So the stock loft on a standard 7-iron will come in at 33 degrees. There are power spec options and retrofit as well. So the retrofit coming in at 35 and the power spec at 31.5. So you are looking at something that's a slightly weaker loft than what you're going to see a lot of other new clubs coming out. I mean, I was looking at some new Callaway clubs earlier today. They're coming in at 28 degrees. So these at 33 are significantly weaker. Now, in terms of the golf club, you're looking at it's a much thinner profile and it's a smaller footprint. So it's a smaller club head than other clubs in the Ping family. And when you look at it, certainly on the sole, a much narrower sole. That's going to lead to a lot less turf drag. So again, these are really sort of pitching in at the Better Player. I've got the 7-iron, but in the 5, 4 and 3-iron, they've got something called a precision pocket. So that's going to be a small weight that's placed in the back of the head, which is similar to what you've seen in the I-230. So a small weight in there that's going to distribute the weight and affect the MOI to make those longer clubs that little bit easier to hit. So that's the 5, 4 and 3 irons. And then when you go 6 down, the precision pocket's not there, and it's just a standard forged club. Now, sort of as you look down on these, I really like them. These are probably one of the best sets of clubs to look down that I've seen for quite some time. It's a very thin top line, nice short blade length, and very little offset, which to my eye is something that I like. If I did a comparison and bring this in, I can really sort of show. So here we've got the I-525, and you can see I bring that in there. This is the Blueprint, this one's the 525, and you can see there the difference in the sole widths there. So that's gonna really impact the club. You're gonna get more turf drag with this, less on this. This means more fill, this is less fill. And then the blade length there, when you put them side by side, the I-525 being that bit bigger. Now this is considered a Better Players performance club, so this is something that's going to trampoline the ball off of the face and get it going a little bit. This one isn't. This is going to be the Better Players, much easier to control distances. The stock shaft that Ping are putting this out with is the Dynamic Gold True Temper 120. So whether, you know, if you're going to go S, X or regular, that's the stock shaft. But obviously, as always with Ping, you've got all of their shafts that are going to be available. So if you go for a fitting, then you've got, you know, all of the options available. It's not limited to just one, but you'd expect that. But that's the stock shaft. So I've got a Modus 105 in this at the moment, and set to sort of normal lofts. Now, set a few shots and see what I think. So put this down, yeah, smaller blade length, like it, sits lovely behind the ball, nice and tight, and then it really is a very good looking club. Now, as always, when we're doing the testing, just Pro V1s that we're hitting. You can see there, first swing, probably not the best strike, not the best shot, a little bit toey, but it still gets going, still not too bad. There, decent strike, feels good off the face. It's that definitely that forged feeling that you get, a little bit of feel from the face. Ping predominantly have always done cast clubs, so it's a break away from what their sort of traditional, what Ping are known for, to bring something out that's forged. The old Blueprint was forged as well, it's worth saying, but yeah. The feel from the golf club is good. It's exactly what you'd expect to feel now. It's something like, you know, the feel similar to that you'd get from whether it's a Titleist or a Mizuno. It sounds very much like that. When I tried the i59, I really like the i59 as a club, but that had a strange feeling. So like when you opened up the club, it had like a solid piece of metal that they added into it to make it more feel firmer, because rather than have that soft feeling, and as a result that felt, albeit a forged club, very, very solid at impact. Whereas this is, you know, it's a much, much nicer feeling club. And I've been testing this over the last couple of days, and I can say, look, across the whole of the face, much as this is a better player's club and you'd expect the sort of toe or heel strikes to be really poor in comparison to what a centered strike would be, there is obviously a drop off in distance, but they're more forgiving than probably I would have thought that they would be. See, for me, as I hit that shot, I can sort of say, yeah, it seems to be, you know, decent trajectory, decent spin decent ball speed, but the spin numbers are a little bit higher than what I would normally expect to see. But that's what the club's meant to do. It's meant to spin it a little bit more. So as a result, if you're going to put a little bit more backspin on the ball, what you're going to see is a lot less deviation in the flight. You know, I predominantly would hit draw, and that draw shape's a lot tighter, so it's not going to vary off as much if I hit it well. You know, in comparison, when you hit the 525 or even the G430, I'd expect to see probably, you know, 1,000, 1,500 revolutions per minute less than what I'm getting out of this. This is spinning at, you know, around about 6,000, and I know that when I've hit the 430 that it goes like a lot less spin, and as a result will go a lot further. Genuinely, I think that this is one of the best clubs that's come out. Like, looking there, for me, I think if you're a better player, so if you're you know, single figures or want to, you know, see yourself as a better ball striker, this is definitely a club to consider. So if you're looking at that sort of elite level, whether, you know, if you're used to being in the Ping family, Mizuno, Titleist, better player end of the club, this is one to consider. For me, I really like this. This is one of my favourite clubs that's coming out this year. It's definitely one of the best to look at, and you know, it's something that Ping, it's different to something that Ping have done over recent years. It's a better players club that's still quite forgiving, and you can still hit good shots, but it's very, very nice to look at. Definitely something to consider. But if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because there's going to be a lot more reviews and things coming out over the next few weeks as new product gets launched, and there's plenty of advice and help on your game as well.